All right, and we are back with UNC Hoops Talk, the 8th edition of Get to Know Your Tar Heels fans. And back here, very excited to be here with Lauren. And Lauren, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lauren. I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I just recently graduated from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro with an elementary education degree, but I'm a diehard UNC fan.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry about that. I need to pause something somewhere here.
Okay.
I don't know, were you hearing the echo? I was hearing a big time
No,
echo
I
there.
didn't hear anything.
All right, good. Then maybe we're good. All right. So, Lauren, how did you become a Tar Heels fan? What brought it to a whole new level, or kind of got it started for you?
Okay, so my mom has always been a Tar Heel fan, but she wasn't really like a diehard Tar Heel fan. My dad's a diehard Wake Forest fan, so whenever we watched games, I would just automatically pull for Carolina. And then as I got older, I just became like really into Carolina. It like started like I really started watching it in 2009 because that was the year that we won ACC and the NCAA championship, and then 2009 2010 sucked.
Yeah, those were a little bit
But
rough.
then I started rewatching it. Yeah, but then I started rewatching it all over again like the next year, and then probably my favorite year was when Kendall Marshall and Harrison Barnes and Tyler Zeller took the floor. That was amazing.
Absolutely. So it kind of started out of a rebellion against your father. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, but no, we just enjoy watching basketball together. We're like the only two basketball fans, so I would just automatically pull for the guy opposite of him.
Well, it's always a little bit fun when there's a rivalry like that. You don't want to always be on the same side.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned a little bit for the next question your favorite players, but if you had to pick one all time, who would be your favorite all time Tar Heel?
Oh, Michael Jordan, hands down. You cannot get any better than Michael Jordan at Carolina basketball. You just can't. When I went to Raleigh, I went to the History Museum and I was able to see some of like the really old plays where like they have like a basketball Hall of Fame in the
Mhm.
Raleigh Museum. I watched every single Carolina one. It was pretty cool. It was awesome. But yeah, Michael Jordan, hands down.
Awesome. Well, you threw me for a loop there. I was expecting a more recent one with what you'd mentioned before, but obviously you can't go wrong with MJ. So throwing it to the other side here, least favorite Duke player of all time.
Okay, so I thought about that one, and I honestly cannot pick like a Duke player that I legitimately can't stand, but I do not like Krzyzewski. So that's my least favorite Dookie of all time is probably Krzyzewski, just because I can't stand him.
Well, that definitely works. I don't know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing that he never graduates. He's always there for you to hate, but you never get to see him go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a question I didn't send you ahead of time. You haven't seen, but being in North Carolina, going to school in Greensboro, somewhat in the area. Any interactions maybe outside of the Dean Dome or something that you've had with any either current or former Tar Heels players?
Well, not like personal interactions or anything like that, but I work at a Chick-fil-A here in Greensboro, and so we are always like helping with the ACC tournaments whenever they come through. So I'm always there helping work the ACC tourney. So I've worked the ACC tourney for the last 3 years. So I get to see them, and I get to see them actually play, like without paying for it, I guess you could say. But I've seen several games that way through the ACC tourney, and then I get to like I see them, but I've never gone up to them and been like, "Yo, I'm like one of your biggest fans."
Okay. Well, hey, that works. Getting in free, seeing those games up and close without paying for it. That would
Right.
definitely a treat. So that kind of leads into another question I had of how many games you've seen in person, or if it's been way too many, maybe a guess, or per
Oh,
season.
no, it's never
Uh,
been too many. Like ones that I've actually seen where like I went and bought the tickets and went to the game. I've seen three of those. Two of them were basketball games. One of them was a football game, and then I've seen like two games with the ACC.
okay. So in the Dean Dome, or have you had to do road games?
In the Dean Dome, yeah, I've seen 2 games in the Dean Dome. The first game was Carolina versus Maryland, and we beat them soundly. And then I just actually went back this past December and saw the Carolina versus Kentucky game, and my best friend went with me, and he's a diehard Kentucky Wildcats fan. So we were on 2 opposite ends where I was sitting there screaming my head off whenever we beat them.
Well, and that maybe makes the next question really easy, but what's your best in-person memory watching the Tar Heels?
Oh, probably watching the Kentucky Wildcats game with my best friend, just because he was so mad that they lost.
Well, and
But I
that's
actually
not
expected
a
us to lose that game.
yeah. Well, a lot of us did going into that one, but that's not a bad best memory to have. You could be a lot worse. Um, so where do you keep up with your Tar Heels? Obviously, Twitter is kind of the big thing and the easiest way. Is there any place that you check on maybe on a regular basis during the season to keep up on your Tar Heel news?
Oh gosh, I kept up a whole bunch with the PJ Hairston stuff when that was going on. I was checking up every single website I could possibly find when all that was happening. But I really keep up with like some of my favorite players with like Facebook. So like I follow Harrison Barnes and I follow a couple other people, Reggie Bullock, and that way I can see whatever they're doing. Oh, one thing I didn't mention that I got to see, which I guess is a game that I saw in person, was last year there was a accident on High Rock Lake here in Greensboro, and they had a memorial game for them, for the people who died in the accident. And so I was able to go to that, and I got I got a couple of pictures of PJ Hairston and Reggie Bullock hitting 3-pointers, and there were some other ones there, but it was really awesome seeing them play in person.
Very nice, and that's a totally different environment than
Oh,
like NC's
completely.
and Green
Everybody
as
was just
well.
there just to have fun. You had like old NC State players, and you had Duke players, and Carolina. It was really cool.
Very cool, very cool. So now transitioning into current and upcoming, what are your expectations for the upcoming season? Whether you want to go super hopeful and crazy fan, or keep it realistic, however you see it.
I'm really hopeful that this next year will be like our year. With Marcus Page as on fire as he is, I was really hoping that we'd go a little bit farther than we did this year. But I think with a lot of the fact, I think we only lost like 2 really good players this year, with McAdoo leaving for the draft, and then with us losing. What's his name? Senior who just left, who just came back, Les McDonald. Since we just lost those 2, I really feel like we have a really strong team instead of like us losing all of our players. So I think that this upcoming year is going to be a really good year for us.
Absolutely, and I think I just saw a ranking where we were at number 5 in somebody's preseason ranking, so it definitely backs that up. So I mean, that's really all the questions I have for you, Lauren. Is there anything else that you want to tell Tar Heel Nation here? Otherwise, just plug your Twitter or anywhere else that you'd maybe like to be followed by Tar Heel fans.
All right, I can do that. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. What's your? Do you want?
I'm
Maybe you don't want to.
good.
Do you want to give out your Twitter, or you want to keep that?
Probably not, since I'm in the teaching education program. Like it might not be so great, but everything of mine is like locked down.
All right, so no worries. But thanks for coming on so much, Lauren, and everybody else. If you'd like to come on, please contact me. My Twitter, I will give it out. It's okay. Is at alltarheeldan. You can email me at unchoopstalk@gmail.com. And of course, we know you did, so like this video, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. It's youtube.com/UNCHoopstalk. Let me know if you'd like to be the next interview on Get to Know Your Tar Heel Fans. You may not be as good at an interview as Lauren here, but give it a shot. And it's good to see you got that North Carolina shirt out in the off season and always representing the Tar Heels, Lauren. All right, we'll see you next time. Go Heels.